Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, great news. Today we have both the boxes in front of us right here. So box number one is going to be your umbrella base. And then the bigger box, of course, is going to be our umbrella right here. This is the 9x9 cantilever umbrella S. Now this is in the beige color, which I'm really excited about, and this will be replacing these beautiful blue umbrellas, which are actually beach umbrellas, but make a long story short, my umbrellas keep flying away because it is windy, so I need something more structural, better quality, pretty much. So let's go ahead and slice these boxes on open. We're going to get out the base first, then the umbrella, piece it together, and of course show you how it does in conditions that might be a little windy. We got some rain coming, all the above. As we get started with the video, top link in the description box right below the video will be this exact same umbrella where you guys can read more about it and pick it up yourself after the video is finished. Again, top link in the description box below. But real quickly, before we get too deep into the video, the stand that you see right here that you fill with sand and a little bit of water, I actually just use sand, and I'll explain that here in just a little bit. This base is actually separate and is not included with the purchase with the umbrella. So just the umbrella is going to have the crossbar that we see underneath here, and I'll get to that in just a little bit as we put this together. But the base is not included, so I do want to state that it is a separate purchase. I will link that as well below. Same company, Purple Leaf. And right now we are getting some nice gusts of wind, holding up really, really nicely, as you can see here. So anyway, just wanted to state that clearly. And also, as we are getting more gusts, and it's holding up just beautifully. Well, that's a good 35-mile-an-hour gust right there. Oh, goodness gracious. This is good for the review video. So yeah, that wind is whipping right now. That's a big gust. That was easily 35-mile-an-hour gust, standing up like a champ right there. This is going to be the 9x9 beige color. Let's begin the video. And just to show you, it did kick down a little bit since I just came inside, but 24.4-mile-an-hour winds. But again, that gusts, sometimes it takes a little bit of time to register, or it goes up and then goes back down quickly with those gusts. Alrighty, everything in the box is packaged very well. Purple Leaf umbrella in the beige color. That beige looks beautiful. Let's get this out. We'll talk about the base here in just a little bit. Comes in two different pieces right over here. So let's grab all our components out of here. Alrighty, we got everything laid out in front of us right here. We got our instruction manual here, as well as the base right here, umbrella sitting back over there. Beige looks absolutely gorgeous. In the sun the other day, I actually thought it was a little darker, but this is beautiful. This is exactly the color I want. So you have a little drawstring bag right here. We got our little winch. We got a little knob, a little screw, some more screws, Allen wrench. We're going to go through our instruction manual here. Again, not too many pieces. We're going to put this together. I would definitely recommend, before you do fill the base with sand, they're recommending 90% sand, 10% water. So with that said, I would go ahead and test it out in the proper daytime when you're probably going to be using it the most, because once that is filled, that's going to be super heavy. So I'm going to go ahead and set it up, probably put bricks over it for the first couple days instead of sand and water first, to make sure I have it in the right position. All right, first couple steps, super easy. You're going to use all your bolts. Let me break it down for you here. So you have your base stand right here in two pieces. Then you put on your little, I'm going to call it little, whatever this little trigger thing is. That mounts down with 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the back with washers. And then the D1 and D pole sit down right here. And that bolts into with the black bolts and washers 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here on this side. Now we grab this cool little thing and we drop this guy on down, and that covers up pedestal. We still have this, which we're getting to, and let's go ahead and flip our page and continue. Okay, when you get to this step right here, we're going to lead you through this, but do be careful because there is packing material inside of the umbrella, which is not letting it expand. So you need to get in there carefully and go ahead and remove that packing material. That's why it's always good to read directions. There's your packing material right there. Go ahead and get that off of the inside of it. All right, we're going to get some better shots. Do be careful though, especially if wind does pick up, because that thing is literally a sail. It is really nice and calm right now. I do need to pick up my trash on the ground there. That's why you do definitely need the weights. So what I'm going to do here is, until I fill this up with sand, I'm going to go ahead and just stack it with bricks, maybe put a towel over it so I don't want to scratch the top of it. I want it to look nice, but I'm going to get a lot of bricks. I'm talking about probably 100 pounds of bricks. Stack this up just so, I need to know where I'm going to be putting this thing. But there's a slight breeze kicking up right now, and that is literally a sail. But until you do fill it, do be careful though, because if you don't have any weight in there, it's going to want to go ahead and just fall over towards that direction there because of the weight of everything going that direction. So do be careful. Have someone, put their foot on it or something like that, or stack it with, again, bricks or sand or water, and it goes around the base just like that there. Now, you do have your little push button right here for swivel. Again, we're going to test out all these beautiful things. Now, one thing I will show you right here, there is supposed to be another knob. Okay, the wind is kicking up just a little bit, and I do need to get some weight on there as the pup is just relaxing. So let's go ahead and get that done now. Alrighty, filling it with sand, and this side is completely full. This is what I'm using. You don't have to use this exact one. If you have access to sand, grab some sand. This is just paver sand, and I already had these. I had 4 bags of these. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't say what the poundage is on the actual bag, but picking it up, it felt like a good solid 40 pounds per bag or so. So with that regards, we have like almost 3.5 bags in each side to get to this level right here. And the easiest thing to do is you're going to fill it up. It's going to spread out, but then fill up, and then you're going to lift it up, shake it all the way to the bottom, fill it up again, shake it all the way to the bottom, and then keep filling it up that way. So this side only has half a bag in it. So I need to pick up about 3 more bags next time I'm at Home Depot or Lowe's. And we're looking absolutely fantastic. So this, I'm going to go ahead and put over here on this side. You might have to, that looks like it's okay. You might have to clean up the threads of it, but obviously the wind will go ahead and wipe off that or take a broom to it. And so this side, I'm not sure how much that weighs, but that's definitely a heavy side to it right there. I want to say, goodness gracious, that has to be 110 pounds or so. Let me see here. Yeah, if I were to pick that up, that's probably a good solid 90 to 110. Yeah, no, I'd say probably more than 90. Let's see, 40 pounds a bag, 3.5 bags. That's about that's about 140 pounds. Yeah, so I'd say about maybe 120 to 140, easy. So this side again only has half a pound. That's still, that's still pretty heavy if I were to shoulder press that. So maybe I'm way off. Maybe that's like 150 pounds, who knows? Anyway, that's not going anywhere. It's gonna look a lot nicer. I don't have to have bricks on top of it. But in the meantime, it does get windy. We actually just had gusts up to like 20 miles an hour. That's why I put the sand in. I wanted it more evenly instead of just the back. The reason I had the bricks on the back is that if you're in this position with no weights, the umbrella is going to just push it over because of the weight going this way. See, as you can see here, we're actually having some gusts right now. And let me just kind of show you here. So let me back it up. The umbrella, it kind of teeters and totters a little bit, but not unsafe. Now, if it was like 35 mile an hour gusts, I'd probably put it down just for, the arm up here. But even with these gusts, see how it's kind of going back and forth a little bit? Like right now, here, let's go inside and see what kind of gusts we're looking at here before it calms down here. It kind of calmed down a little bit, but 14.8 gusts right now. And then what I'll do just for added safety until I do this one completely full with sand, I'll go ahead and lay probably another like 50 pounds of bricks on this side just to keep that weight on there. All right, so this is my morning routine when the weather is nice. I sit out here at my front table doing my morning devotions with my coffee, of course. And what's awesome about this umbrella is because the morning sun comes in this direction here behind the table, I have the umbrella in more of an upright position. You do have to watch a little bit of the wind. It does get a little bit windy out here where I live. And so that is literally kind of like a sail, not quite vertical, but it has a nice little tilt to it here. I'm going to get behind the umbrella and show you here, but that is absolutely fantastic for blocking me for the morning sun because I've already got my morning UV light. I don't want to get too much because, we're here in Colorado and the sun is very intense and we're higher up. I'm 7,200 elevation, 7,150 or so ballpark. But with the adjustable little trigger stop points, I'm just going to call it here, you can either bring it, now this is the most vertical it will be here, guarding me from the back once again. And then last night I came home and here's my surf gear here. So I had a nice little work session in the afternoon with a little afternoon cup of coffee, and then it literally went right above me, and we'll get a shot of that blocking me from the overhead sun. Now if it's sun sunset, just to be honest with you, I would have to bring the umbrella around to the other side of the table, like 6 p.m. Obviously the umbrella is not, 15 feet, 20 feet to extend out for the sunset, which sets that direction there. So it guards me all day except for that late portion of the sunset if I keep it in this position, or just get another one, umbrella that is. Okay, again, so I do need to fill it with sand. So look at my table here, and forgive, again, all my surf gear drying. Well, was drying in the sun until I shaded it here. So I got my table here, and then my fire pit, and then of course the stand, and then we are in a really nice vertical position, not vertical, but angle to it here, blocking that morning sun, which is right there. So it's shading me. And you're like, Chris, why don't you put it, up above and then sit the other direction so it's not, right there. You don't have to have it so vertical. I like looking at that view instead of my house. My house is a remodel, and sometimes if I turn around, I think about projects I need to get done, and I definitely prefer to look out the other direction here. So that is the beautiful angle. If I have it down a little bit more like that, and there's really, there's a little bit of a breeze, but it's not too bad. So I just wanted to cover up my legs there with the umbrella. And then again, all these different slots here, you can click it in here, and then up there as well for the straight across. Now it doesn't have, with that stop right there, it won't, let me just show you. That's it for the top portion. So if you're wondering, with that stopping point, there are no other trigger stop points to bring the umbrella like an angle this way. I was thinking it potentially could to guard me from the sunset sun, as in like it would tilt that direction. So it tilts this direction. I thought, cool, what if it tilts that direction? Maybe another generation model, but with the stop right here, it won't go up anymore to tilt it down that direction, if that makes sense. But this is what I had it here like yesterday, and I just set up my laptop out here. Absolutely stunning out here, especially now that it's warming up. So I just lay in my laptop, have my coffee, and again, I have my devotions out here for this morning, and we're going to tuck on into that and enjoy. So super simple, push in your trigger, bring it all the way down, and there we go. Now definitely a lot better than this dinky little thing right here. Now when it is in this position, do be careful with high winds. Now the instruction manual actually does state to close the umbrella. I close it every night just in case, but it says to close it down if winds get about 25 miles an hour or above. We get some pretty gnarly winds out here sometimes, gusts up to 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour if it gets crazy windy for a few hours. So you definitely don't want the wind pushing on that, even with all the weight in the base. You just want to protect your investment. You want to protect your umbrella. But last night it was pretty windy. I want to say probably 15 mile an hour gusts. It was right overhead over the table, and it was, shaking back and forth a little bit, but the structure was very sturdy. I was very impressed with it, and it was just kind of wobbling back and forth just a little bit, not making any noise, not aggressive wobbling. It was just moving kind of like it is right now with about maybe 6-7 mile an hour winds. So far, I'm very impressed. All right, slight correction. There is one more lock-in tab, and this right here is the most vertical you're gonna get with the umbrella right there. Again, that is the most vertical clipped in right there, as we can see, and that is actually perfect for morning guarding my back right there. Okay, this is an absolute perfect day for this umbrella. Let me clip you in and show you the setup process, which is so simple. All right, let me clip you into my shirt here. All right, Velcro, which has held up very nicely. I think we've had like 25 mile an hour winds. And then your push handle here, which I've already showed you. So as you push up, you push out. I get to about right there because of my table. And then I open it up. And then you can bring it all the way up. Bada bing, bada boom. Less than, 20 seconds? But for the morning sun, I'm gonna go ahead and clip it in right there. And that blocks me from the morning sun. And then as the sun goes over, I'm working underneath, then I bring it up. Beautiful still day, absolutely stunning. Again, for this type of day where it's just beautiful, we might have like 4-6 mile an hour winds. barely anything. Absolutely doing phenomenal. The sand in that side, I'm going to pick up a few more sandbags today for the other side, and then I'm going to get a little broom and brush that off to make it look nice and pretty. And I have 6 bags of sand in the bags that I did show you. I do like how there's 2 pieces. I actually was able to lift this up by myself. It's pretty darn heavy, but do be careful. But if you needed to move the umbrella, simply lift it up, put it out of the way. Obviously with the umbrella down is the easiest way to lift it up and move it to a different location if you do need to move it during winter months, if the sun is moving its direction, etc. But sealed up really beautifully, nice and heavy. The only thing is, again, with the wind that we have here, even though it is super calm right now, this is absolutely an amazing morning. But if the wind does pick up and gets above 20, do be careful with your umbrella. Alrighty, this will show you a really good example. Slight wind this morning, but it was very, very windy last night. If you do have crazy amount of wind, again, definitely keep it flatter as possible or reel it in, and don't use it if it's crazy, crazy windy. So once again, I'm going to show you, click in right there for the highest vertical setting. That does pick up wind, and the other day I actually had it and a gust of wind. Where I am here in the country, we get crazy gusts of wind. There was probably gusts of like 35 miles an hour last night. So it got crazy windy. And obviously I had the umbrella down, put together, wrapped up. I have all the sand in the base now. No worries with any teeter-tottering like that. But obviously I wouldn't want to keep it out all night with wind like that. So after using it for about a week, here is the second location. So we saw 1, 2. Here is the third location. You're going to see the difference. And 4th location. And 5th location, and I think 6, which just goes up just like a neck there, 2 inches or so, something like that. So about 6 different pop-in locations. And I've had 15, 20 mile an hour gusts hit this thing. It sways back and forth. I do put it down when it does get windy. It just, the winds here come out of nowhere and you do have to be a little careful. Love the flat setting right here. And then again, in the morning time, I come down to about, if I can, if there's absolutely no wind, I like to put it in the full position because I like to look that way towards the mountains, and so I don't get the morning sun on my legs either. And this umbrella is really big. I have a 6-person table and it is absolutely incredible. So I'm going to keep you at a distance for just a second, and then we'll go in and we'll take a closer look at what I'm pushing down. But this is one of the coolest features of the umbrella, is going to be push down with my foot and we rotate all the way around. So if you have other furniture, oh, that's actually a good, that's a really good idea. So now I'm covering up that. So like, let's say some people want the sun, do be careful of how much sun you do get. Then you could put it off to the side like this, and then just make sure that it clicks in some certain spots when you rotate it. So now you have half the table has shade and then half the table has sun. Or if you have other outdoor furniture, like a furniture setting, then of course, when the sun drifts a certain direction, guess what? You swing that around, block the sun this way. So then this has shade or this has sun. And here, let me clip you back in, hold on. And again, I do have a tree right here, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to get much further than that. But again, 360 with that rotation all the way around. And I'm just, again, my foot is on the little pedal and it goes all the way around. You do have to be careful of that tree branch, but that is a really cool feature, and we'll click it back into where it was. Okay, so here's the little foot push down that you push down right here, and then it swivels again 360 as you put it together. So again, you push down that and then it swivels. I won't do that right now, but overall, love the color beige once again in this particular color. Love how huge it is covering my table. Now I'm going to include this in the video. We're getting, I just checked, 20 mile an hour gusts right now. I think a little bit higher than that actually when it kind of gusts in pretty good. But as you can see with the sand in the base and it wrapped up like this, absolutely sturdy as a rock. Now with strong winds like this, if it stays upwards of 20 miles an hour, obviously, right now it's not, it's more like 9-10 miles an hour, but we were having some pretty gnarly gusts a few minutes ago. Wanted to capture this on film, put this in the video. I wouldn't, especially with these gusts, have it out. It's just, the gusts they just come out of nowhere. So as you can see here, look at the little tree right there. We're probably about 14 miles an hour right now. Wind is hitting the trees right here. So what you don't want is you don't want the wind coming up and pushing it. And, obviously the base is very strong and sturdy, but again, where I am in the country, you got to be careful of those gusts. Wanted to include that, but As I pulled in, it was really gusting. I was looking at it. Wasn't teeter-tottering or anything when it is wrapped up. So when it does get gnarly windy, put it up, wrap it up, and treat your beautiful umbrella with respect. And just to show you, it did kick down a little bit since I just came inside, but 24.4 mile-an-hour winds, and that gusts. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to register, or it goes up and then goes back down quickly with those gusts. Okay, wanted to get this on camera. The wind is picking up like crazy. I just checked my monitor again. 44 mile-an-hour wind gusts. This is probably only like 30, but we just had 44, and it's standing up like a champ right outside. Not even teeter-tottering, in the closed position. Make sure that's closed if you have high winds like this, but it's doing great filled with sand. Well, folks, I'm going to enjoy my morning coffee out here with my morning devotions. As you can see, the breeze is picking up just a little bit. Probably 8-9 mile-an-hour gust. Not bad. And it calms back down. Overall, a solid umbrella. Looks beautiful so that you can dial in your space for this late spring, or I should say spring and summer and fall. We are just entering into it, and I am so excited for this time of year. All the new growth, trees popping, aspen trees coming to life again. And now we're getting about maybe 15 mile-an-hour gust. So you can see kind of the difference. You can kind of see it, wobbling a little bit, but 15 mile-an-hour gust, nice and sturdy. Well, folks, once again, top link in the description box below the video will be this exact same umbrella, where you guys can read more about it and pick it up yourself. But just like all my videos, please don't go into debt for anything I do make a video about. But if you do have the cash and it does intrigue you, please go ahead and purchase on away. If you wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up button on the way out, helps the channel. Now we're getting probably, that was a good 18 mile-an-hour gust. Getting a little windy. So if it keeps picking up like this, then obviously I lower the umbrella. But of course, right as you start filming. But it's good to show you some gusts that are coming through. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this, as well as tech videos, DIY house remodel projects, and more. My name's Chris, and I will see you on the next video. Take care for now. Bye-bye.